have a great ahead, including a look at Fall Fest and Latino Heritage Month. Stay with us. Hi, welcome back. I am here with Jenna from Tri Delta. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
So could you tell us a little bit about what Tri Delta is?
Yes, so Tri Delta is a sorority that is based on a premier women's organization, and we really pride ourselves on our special initiative with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, as well as Body Image 3D, which is our program that only Tri Delta has. We also are building a new sorority here on campus, and so we're really looking for the founding members that are going to be leaders for the campus and for the chapter.
Awesome. And when you first joined the sorority, why did you want to join?
I joined because of the relationships that I wanted to build. I watched my mom continue her relationships with her sorority sisters, and it was something that I really wanted. And so that was really what I was looking for when I was talking to the women on my own campus. And so I really found the most genuine conversations with the women in the Tri Delta chapter at my school.
And what specifically about Tri Delta made you want to join that specific sorority?
I love the philanthropy, so I really like that we focus on children's cancer initiatives. I was really involved in Make-A-Wish all through high school, and so that was something that I was really excited to continue on in some aspect. I also really loved just that they are founded on empowering women, but also just bringing you and being your true self, which I really loved.
And so you mentioned the philanthropy was children cancer. What kind of activities has Tri Delta done in the past to help raise awareness and money for this philanthropy?
Yeah, so we have a national campaign. It's a letter writing campaign called Sincerely Yours, and during that time, all collegiate members write a letter to their friends and family asking for donations to St. Jude. And because St. Jude is such a prominent name, it brings in a lot of our fundraising percentage for the year. But across all the different campuses, each chapter is empowered to create their own event. So it might be Delta House of Pancakes, which is a really popular event, so a pancake feed, but it also could be a golf tournament or an auction. So it's totally up to the chapter.
So each chapter for each school does it a little differently,
yes,
but all with the same focus?
Correct, yes.
And to the girls who are trying for Tri Delta now, do you have any advice for them, any words of encouragement?
Yeah, so I would say, as I said, we really just focus on bringing you. So we really want to make sure that we're recruiting members who are excited to bring their authentic selves and really just embrace who they are and what they have to bring to the table. So my advice is just to make sure that they are being their authentic selves and really just showing us what they have.
And so most sororities that are already on campus, they have that whole big little interaction. They're being recruited by people who are currently in that chapter now. What sort of differences will Tri Delta, being a brand new sorority on Quinnipiac University, what sort of differences is that going to bring?
Yeah, so it'll look a little bit different because we obviously won't have those big little relationships right off the bat. But what is really cool is that we have Tri Delta alumni from the area who are now recruiting these members. So they are Tri Deltas themselves, so it's similar, they're just a little bit older. And how it's going to look different as we move forward is that these women who we're recruiting now will really build the foundation of the chapter, and they'll be the leaders, and then they will start recruiting their own members. So we'll really just help them figure out what they want the chapter to look like and then how to recruit members in the future.
And for anyone that maybe was thinking about interviewing or going for a sorority in general and didn't because they were too nervous or they were hesitant about it, what would you say to them?
I would say it's a great opportunity for everyone. I really think you can find your place in any chapter, and so I think it's an awesome idea just to try it and see what it looks like. I really love it for the relationships and just the well-rounded experience that you get, so I think it's a good experience for everyone.
Nice. And so obviously you were a member of Tri Delta while you were in college. What was your favorite memory of Tri Delta itself?
That's a great question. So I lived in my chapter house for all 4 years, and I know that not every campus has chapter houses, but I really loved the relationships that I was able to build during that time. So I found my very best friends through Tri Delta, and we got to have all these really cool experiences together, whether it be raising money for St. Jude or participating in different activities on campus. So I think it was really just those relationships that I now have to move forward into adulthood with.
Thank you, Jenna. So now we're going to do a quick transition to the weather for this week. So the weather is going to start off as a little wet but still warm. Today is going to be cloudy with a high of 75, and these clouds are going to stay with us through the week, through the next couple days as it begins to rain. The temperature is going to drop a little bit to 68 on Tuesday before coming back up to 76 on Wednesday and finally 77 on Thursday. The clouds are going to start to disappear on Friday with a high of 76, and get ready for a warm weekend as it will be mostly sunny with highs of 79 and 80. So be sure to have some nice warm weather activities planned and definitely enjoy that sun, because as we go into fall, the weather is going to just drop a little bit. And so now we're back, and with me we have Joseph Mania. Thank you for coming on today.
Oh, thank you for having me this morning.
So Fall Fest was this past weekend.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about just Fall Fest in general?
Yep, so Fall Fest is the spring, or rather the fall concert that the Student Programming Board does every year. So we do it in South Lot. We have 1 or 2 performers, a bunch of food trucks, and this year we had a photo booth. In the past we've had other novelties, so it's really just an outdoor concert that we've tried to make it a little bit past just music.
Nice. And what did you have this year specifically that sets Fall Fest apart from the past?
So we had some different food trucks. So we brought in the Cupcake Chick, which is local to Hamden, Bold, which had acai bowls and smoothies. So it was a different food truck that we haven't had in the past, and it seemed to be very popular. So I definitely think Student Programming Board will try and use that in the future to our advantage.
And I saw that there was the Plain White T's performing this
Yes.
year. What was it like getting them to perform? Because that is a really big name band.
So that wasn't the first band to think about when I was planning Fall Fest, but after going through some other alternatives, I really thought that that'd be a great mix for our students. Our students really look for country and pop artists, and I really think that the Plain White T's mend those two genres together with their specific genre, as well as their throwback hits that everyone on campus most likely knows already.
And what was it like having them perform and come in, and how did they do?
I really thought they were great. They showed up on time. They did everything we expected them to do. They were really easy to work with. Honestly, this concert could not have gone any more smoothly, and I really appreciate all that they had to do for us.
Were there any things that happened this year that has already had you thinking about next year and how you're going to set next year apart?
I think we really need to plan what our students want, and while I'm not going to have a big role in planning Fall Fest next year, I believe whoever precedes me in the future will definitely look and see what our students want, what they know, and really finding artists that our students will relate to on a higher level. I think the big purpose with these 2 concerts is making sure they're big inclusive events that everyone feels like they want to go to, not that they have to go to.
And you mentioned that you guys tend to get more country style groups. So like, can you give us some examples of like, other than the Plain White T's of course, of what that would mean?
So in the past couple years, last year we had Time Flies, so they were a pop band. The year before, and then 2 years ago, Fall Fest started as a country concert, and we've since moved past that. We really want to see what the students want, and from what our research shows, our students aren't looking for country right now, but we're always looking to benchmark and see what our students want next. So if after this concert we see that our students want to have a more country performer or rap or whatever it happens to be, we'll see what they want and make sure we're catering our concerts to what the students want.
And for students who are now watching this and thinking, oh, this is what I want, how would they be able to reach out and let you guys know that?
So we do have our general board meetings every Monday at 4:15 down here in the Student Center. We have our main stage meeting. That's a committee that puts on Fall Fest and Wake the Giant. Those are every Wednesday at 9:15. So there's a lot of ways that they can reach out, or they could hit us up on social media at QUSPB, send us an email. Really, there's many different ways they can reach out to us about what they want, and they should look forward to having some sort of survey in the future for finding out what we should do for the future concerts.
And obviously a lot of planning went into this
Yes,
event.
definitely.
Because it went so smoothly, you can see it. Was there anything you would have changed, maybe added, taken away from the event?
I think definitely looking for some more novelties. We're always looking for something else to do while the concert's happening. So of course we plan months in advance, but maybe in the future, plan even a month sooner so that we can add an extra novelty, so a blow-up thing or something along those lines. So our students have something else to do other than watching the music. They can also do some sort of event to fill their time.
And so the novelty this year was the photo booth, correct?
Correct, yes.
What was that like? How did students react to having that?
Well, every time I would look over, there was always a line, and I think no matter what event, a photo booth is always a go-to. It's something to memorialize what exactly happened at the event with your friends. So it's a good takeaway. It's something easy for us to plan and something that's easy for someone to do. Not a lot of effort goes into it. So I think everyone enjoys having those little photo strips to hang up in their dorm room.
And then another big part of Fall Fest is the food trucks.
Yes.
So what went into like choosing which food trucks you guys wanted to have come?
So I have two directors, we call them the novelty directors, and it was their job this year to plan which food trucks to bring. And I told them I wanted a mix of what I call real food trucks, so like Way Station and Spuds, and then snack food trucks. So there was a good mix between what our students wanted to see. Other than that, I told them find what you would want to have. And they found different alternatives, so we did reach out to many different food trucks, and after debating what we wanted to bring, Spuds, Way Station, Bold, and then the Cupcake Chick were a good mix between having a snack or just having lunch at Fall Fest.
And did there seem to be a favorite food truck that the students tended to have?
Definitely Bold this year. The line never seemed to get shorter, and that was one of the food trucks I know for sure that we sold out on, so I think that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I know Spuds is very popular, as well as Way Station, which has the grilled cheeses, but for whatever reason this year, Bold was definitely our most popular food truck.
Was it the same way last year, or was Bold a new food truck?
So for Fall Fest, we've never brought Bold before, so it was definitely something new, and we did take a risk with that, and I think it definitely paid off bringing them this year.
Well, it definitely seemed like it paid off. Is there any other, like, for anyone who didn't go to Fall Fest, what would you say to them?
I think they definitely should look at and see what SPB does have to offer. Of course, Fall Fest and Wake the Giant are some of our biggest events, but we have events every weekend, so there's always something to do on campus. So if you missed out on Fall Fest, don't worry, there's always events happening Fridays or Saturday nights.
And from SPB, what's the next event you guys have?
So our next event is gone in, I believe it's called 60 minutes or 60 seconds. It's basically a minute to win it style game show that we're going to be having on Friday. So check us out on social media at QU SPB for more information on how to participate and where the event will be taking place.
Thank you, Joe.
No problem.
So we're going to be taking a quick commercial break, but up next is a look at Latin Heritage Month. Stay with us.
Coming up on #that, we talk about some fun events around Quinnipiac's campus.
And we talk about some weird news that's been discussed around Twitter.
All that and more, we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Whether you're on the quad, in your room,
or heading to class,
tune in to Q30 News.
for stories by student journalists you can trust.
We are covering the latest here on campus and in surrounding areas. Get the news you need to know every Wednesday night.
Bobcat Breakdown presented by the Quinnipiac Bobcats Sports Network.
We are your source for debate.
Did they make the playoffs last year, Tom Jenkins?
When it clicks, it clicks.
We dissect Quinnipiac athletics on a scale you've never seen before.
With Tobia, it almost looks like she's reaching a little bit.
Plus, we're bringing the biggest names surrounding college sports.
We are live here at the Times Union Center with Jay Billis.
And of course, some comedy.
But you can only have so much arena food.
I think you're crazy. Bobcat Breakdown.
Tuesdays at 9:30.
Welcome back. So I am joined here today by Nevi and Kelsey. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So there was an event this past Friday, the Latin Heritage Month kickoff event. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we had food from Buen Gusto, which is in New Haven, and we had food from Ixtapa, and we had quesadillas, we had taquitos, we had pernil, which is pulled pork. We also had arroz con gandules, which is rice and pigeon peas, which sounds gross, but really good. And then we also had tostones, and we had plátanos maduro. So it was sweet plantain and fried plantain. And then from there, at the end, we had like several drinks, which was like Fanta, Coca-Cola, water, you know, our usuals. But within that, we decided to incorporate some facts from different Latinos and Latinas who have all throughout history have done different things and accomplishments, and just pretty much wanted to broadcast the importance of what Latino Heritage Month means to embrace our accomplishments. So.
And just to clarify, what is Latino Heritage Month? Like, what is it about?
So again, it kind of is a time where you embrace your culture, history, our ancestors from who pretty much around September 15th, which is where Latin Heritage Month starts. It's pretty much, the reason why it's that day is because it's the Independence Day of for Guatemala, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and I believe another country, but I don't remember. But pretty much when they came to the like their Independence Day, and then pretty much their ancestors who came to the U.S. And from there on, like how much the impact they made on the community for Latinos and Latinas. So that's what we do during that month.
So Latin Heritage Month, from what you said, seems like it's just a American celebration.
I mean, it's yes, but like it's also like if you have family back in other countries, they know how much it means to have this type of month for in the U.S. too. So I guess you could say it is.
And do you know if other countries at all celebrate a Latin Heritage Month in their own way?
Well, I'm Ecuadorian and Puerto Rican, so I know in Ecuador we have like February, which is La Dia de los Frutas y Flores. So like they have their own celebration for Independence Day, but also like to just celebrate the harvest and stuff. So they don't necessarily celebrate Heritage Month, but they celebrate their Independence Days like with parties and like, which are not just like one day, they're like a weekend long. But yeah, so that's how they celebrate.
And Nevi, what about you? Like, what does Latin Heritage Month mean for you?
Well, see, I'm Puerto Rican, so we don't, at least my family, we haven't necessarily celebrated Latino Heritage Month, but, you know, we do have the Puerto Rican Day Parade. We do, it's very lively, and I'm from New York, so you go there on that day and you just see thousands and thousands of Puerto Ricans, and it's just it's a day full of fun and the best music and food you'll ever have.
I think even the best part of that too is like when you go to the New York Heritage, like the Day Parade for Puerto Rico, it's not just like the New Yorkers, it's like people from Massachusetts, people from New Jersey, people from Connecticut, and even some celebrities who go there just to embrace, like I know that Yankee normally goes, I know other different artists, not even just being Puerto Rican, but they just go just knowing how fun and lively it is.
Oh
yeah.
So now I'm like intrigued about this.
Yes.
Can you, so what is it like? What makes it so fun and so lively?
I think it's honestly the culture itself, and just everyone you meet is going to be probably the friendliest person ever, and they're just going to welcome you, and they're going to act like they've known you for years.
Yeah, definitely. And like you just hear salsa, and you're like, you just grab that dance partner and it just starts dancing, or like the food, and it's just a great day.
So it's like a big celebration party kind of thing?
Yeah.
Just celebrating, you know, just being Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And it welcomes everyone, honestly.
And so just kind of to connect back to the event that we started talking about, are there any other events through the month other than the parade to celebrate the Heritage Month?
So actually tomorrow we are having Gabby Rivera, the title of the event is Gabby Rivera Breakthrough in Marvel. She is an author of Juliet Takes a Breath, which is an amazing book. I'm halfway done because I'm still working on it. But then she's also, because of that book, she had an opportunity to work with Marvel, which is creating the first Latino and queer superhero, America Chavez, which is big for Marvel because, you know, it's something they've never done before. And it's just great that she's able to make our Latino and Latina community proud. And like besides that, also the LGBTQ community.
So very quickly, before we head into our next segment, what is your favorite food from your culture?
Oh, you know, I'll have to say bacalaitos, which is fried codfish, and it's best when, like, I know my grandfather, he catches the codfish himself, and it's just best right when it's straight out from where, you know, it's from.
I would have to say, I guess the basic, well, I mean, it's not basic, but pernil and arroz con gandules, which again is the pulled pork and rice with pigeon peas.
Thank you. Well, in celebration of Latin Heritage Month, us at the morning after had a little Latin food tasting over the weekend with some empanadas and pasteles. So let's take a look at how that went.
All right, so I'm here to taste some Latin food. I'll go with the empanada first. I like my jam, so let's take a little test. I've never tried either of these before, so I'm pretty excited.
Never had one of these before. I was told it was good, but
much, much better. I do like that a lot. I definitely would try that again. Nice pastry filling. Very good.
I didn't expect it to be this soft on the inside. Pretty chewy on the inside. It tastes like,
Tastes kind of like really dry.
That's really pretty good.
The fruit part, it's chewy, and then the brown part, it's crunchy, so I like it.
I like it. I'd probably give it like a 7. I don't think I'd go outright searching for an empanada, but it was good. If it was offered to me, I'd definitely take it.
Probably would eat this again, but I do recommend empanadas with meat in it. That's the way to go. And then we're gonna try the pastelli.
This one feels a little bit more dense, less sugar, but we'll see if it's as good as the empanada.
This is kind of bland, but it's a little bit like more moist than the other one, and I like that a little bit more.
Interesting, kind of like a zeppoli with ricotta and sugar instead of powdered sugar. It's interesting.
I mean, if I'm giving the empanada a 7, I'd give the pastelli like a 4.
But I think out of the two, I probably like the empanada the best, so I'm gonna just eat this one.
Welcome back. So that tasting segment, those desserts looked delicious, especially the empanada with the sugar and oh my God, that looks so good to me. So what does being Latin mean to you?
I mean, for me, again, I guess it goes back to like just being able to celebrate where you come from, being able to speak 2 languages. I don't speak fluent Spanish, but being able to understand and grow up saying like leche or avocado, or like, you know, like for me, when I was little, growing up Spanish, everyone spoke Spanish around me, but when I went to school, they'd be like, oh, can I get some avocado? I'm like, what's avocado? But growing up, I always heard it as aguacate, so it'd be like weird, like hearing it 2 different ways. But yeah, I mean, that's normally how it's been for me being Latina in the U.S.
And what about you?
Very similar. We were actually talking about this beforehand. I did not know the word for hair tie for 14 years, but it's basically being Latina. Just like this closeness of your family and, you know, just embracing 2 totally different cultures at the same time.
Yeah.
And is there anything else that you do during the month? Maybe not necessarily on campus, but just kind of celebrate being Latin.
So like going back to even that question, like what conversation we were having, LCS is putting with co-sponsored by CUS, we are having an event called Living in the Hyphen, where we're talking about what it means to be Latino or Latina, and like how it is being 2nd, 3rd generation in the US, and like how do you still embrace your culture? How have you fell apart from it? Why do you think that's so? And like just going back and again celebrating what it means to be Latino and Latina during Heritage Month. And then we also have Copacabana Night, which is on October 11th, where it's going to be in Burt Con, and we just pretty much have live music, dancing, more food, and yeah. Great stuff like that.
So October 11th is a little far away. I don't know about you guys, but I tend to forget things really easily. Is there some place students would be able to go to see a list of these events?
Oh yeah, totally. We have bi-weekly meetings for Latino Culture Society in Eklund 205 at 9:15. We actually have our 2nd meeting this Wednesday. So if anyone feels like they want to come and join or even talk more about LCS or what we have in store, please come by.
And to join, do you have to be Latin, or
oh no?
Anyone
if anything, like it's funny because our e-board is just an array of people. We have Tierno, who is African American, and then we have Tyler Martin, who's also African American. But we have anywhere from Guatemalan to Puerto Rican to, you know, everyone. Just anyone is more than welcome to come. Even when during our first general board meeting, we had Haitians, we had just a bunch of people, and it was just, you know, just embracing the culture. You don't have to be, though, from Latino or Latina to just come to LCS.
That is so nice. And just in general, like, is there anything else like you want to share about being Latin or like how you celebrate the month?
I think I found it. If anything, I think I've shared like everything.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but up next we're going to take a look into the workings of Hall Brawl. Stay with us.
Whether you're on the quad, in your room,
Or heading to class.
tune in to Q30 News.
For stories by student journalists you can trust.
We are covering the latest here on campus and in surrounding areas. Get the news you need to know every Wednesday night.
Good morning and welcome to the morning after. Coming up on #that, we talk about some fun events around Quinnipiac's campus.
And we talk about some weird news that's been discussed around Twitter.
All that and more, we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Welcome back. So with me today we have Morgan from Hall Brawl. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And what sort of part did you play in the planning and coordination of Hall Brawl?
So I am the event coordinator, IT, so I'm in training this year. Liz Monroe is the event coordinator for this year, and she did put in a lot of work for Hall Brawl, and with, of course, the help of our executive board.
And so for anyone who's not aware, what is Hall Brawl?
Hall Brawl is a campus-wide event that the Residence Hall Council puts on every year at the beginning. Students in their residence hall sign up in teams of 10, and they just come for the day for a few hours and participate in a variety of games and determine the winner at the end.
So determine the winner. Was a winner determined this year?
Yes, Mountain View did win. For the prize, they do get their choice of a pizza party or insomnia cookies, and they chose insomnia cookies.
That's my old stomping ground, my freshman dorm. I would have chosen the insomnia cookies personally.
Yes.
So what kind of activities did Mountain View and the rest of the residence hall have to compete in to win?
So we did have a variety. This year there wasn't as many people, so we did shorten the amount of games. We had Capture the Flag, we had Giant Jenga, we had Potato Sack races, we had Pictionary and Trivia. Those were the few that we had this year, but of course in other years we've had more like tug of war, and in the rec center we do like volleyball and knockout and that kind of stuff.
So you change up the activities every year?
Yes.
Are there any that you're already planning ahead of and you're thinking, oh, we have to do this activity next year?
So we have started brainstorming for next year. I don't want to give away too much, but it is definitely going to be a lot better next year. We're thinking maybe doing a whole month of Hall Brawl, maybe just doing it earlier in the year, kind of to reamp the event a little bit and kind of make it better than just what Hall Brawl is now.
And you had said that like attendance has dropped a little bit. Yes. What would you say to people who didn't attend?
Well, the people who do attend, we do make the best out of it, and we appreciate their attendance, and they definitely have fun, we can tell. For the people who don't come, we do encourage people to come. It's a great opportunity for freshmen to bond with their residence halls, and a great opportunity to just meet new people, and because it's all ages. So, I mean, it's a great way to meet new people from different grades and get to meet new people and friends. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's all we have for you this week. Thank you, Morgan, and we'll be back next week. Be sure to follow us on Q30television.com for all the latest updates. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and like our page on Facebook. Have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you here next Monday.